Welcome to Dialectus Idiocracy. I hope you're having a better day than yesterday, but while you're here, I want to discuss social media as an alleged tool for good, because every tool, regardless of our intention, can be abused. You ever find yourself scrolling through social media stuck in a loop of outrage, drama, and ridicule that make you question group mentality? It's like every influencer or so-called journalist is out here screaming about the end of the world, pointing fingers, and acting like they've got the keys to morality. Meanwhile, the people they claim to be fighting for get nothing but more noise. What's going on? Why are we hooked on this shit, and how do these clowns keep cashing checks while offering zero solutions whatsoever? It's not just the algorithm, it's our messy-ass human nature, and they're trying to use it against us. This is about calling out that hustle, exposing how they profit off pain, and figuring out why we keep falling for it. Is it true that our brains are built for the bait? Why do we keep clicking on this drama? It's not because we're all secretly evil. Maybe it's how we're wired. Some call it negativity bias, and it's hardwired from way back when noticing a snake in the grass meant life or death. Today, that same instinct has us glued to posts about scandals or clickbait headlines. A study from the University of Pennsylvania found negative news gets 63% more clicks than positive ones. It's not just random. Our brains light up for threats, not rainbows. Influencers and journalists know this and crank it to 11, dropping content that hits that panic button hard. It's deeper than just clicks, though. We're not just drawn to bad news, we're addicted to the fight. A 2022 Nature Communications study showed social media is designed to spike our dopamine. Every like, retweet, or angry comment's a hit. We think we're staying woke or whatever, but we're just chasing a high. And the algorithm? It's not the villain, it's just a mirror, serving up more of what we're already eating. If we didn't eat up the hate, it wouldn't keep coming. We're out here lying to ourselves, acting like we're above it, but we're the ones keeping this circus in business. So, who's running this game? Influencers and journalists who act like they're out here saving souls while really just stacking paper. They'll post about some crisis, poverty, war, you name it, with all the right hashtags. But what's the follow-through? Jack shit. They're not building schools or feeding the hungry, they're just yelling into the void for clout. A 2023 Columbia Journalism Review study found 60% of independent online content just rehashes mainstream media or social media posts. They call themselves truth tellers, but they're just remixing someone else's headlines with a spicy take to go viral. The money's the real goal. Top influencers can pull $20 to $50 million a year, per Forbes estimates from 2023. Cable news, billions in ad revenue. CNN and Fox raked in over $5 billion combined in 2020. Every viral post about suffering is another ad dollar, another sponsor deal. Even the good stuff, like charity stunts, often hides a hustle. Those viral giving away money videos, brand recognition at times, even the ad revenue can outpace the giveaway itself. Social media today in 2024 said emotional storytelling boosts engagement by 70%. They're not helping, they're branding. And the hypocrisy? Oh, it's thick. These folks act like moral authorities, declaring who's right and who's wrong like they've read every history book ever written and lived through all perspectives. But most have never stepped foot in the real world. They're tweeting from a safe corner in some overpriced home, not the streets they claim to speak for. So what's the cure to all this white noise? Well, let's look at someone who wasn't about the clout, Martin Luther King Jr. This goat was out there marching, facing jail and death threats, all for equality. He didn't cash in. He lived on a preacher's salary, about $8,000 a year, roughly $60,000 today. His Nobel Peace Prize money gave it all to the civil rights movement. And when he was killed, his family was left with next to nothing. No $700,000 GoFundMe. That's mostly reserved for hate, right? But compare him to influencers selling merch while raising awareness. MLK's work got the Civil Rights Act passed. Most viral rants today are forgotten by next week. He didn't need to play the moral high ground because his actions spoke loudly. Letter from Birmingham Jail wasn't a live stream, it was a call to action that shifted history. He wasn't chasing followers, he was chasing change. These modern voices, they're just ambulance chasers, and we're eating it up because we're too busy pretending we're not part of the problem. Unfortunately, we're in on the scam. We act like we're just keeping up with the news, but we're hooked on the drama. We share the outrage, argue with strangers, and just keep feeding the algorithm. Because deep down we love the fight, it makes us feel righteous, like we're on the good side. But by denying the truth, we let it fester into this secret obsession. A 2023 American Psychological Association study linked heavy negative media exposure to anxiety spikes. So if you ever felt like shit after going on social media, that's not an accident, it's manufactured profit. And what really bothers me is those with that "you can do anything" mentality, like life's a fairy tale, maybe for all that inherited wealth, but for the rest of us reality hits. Bills, systemic barriers, dead-end jobs, or loss of jobs while they report massive record profits. That gap breeds bitterness, and they've got no outlet. So they turn to these influencers and streamers who act like they've got answers, but just oversimplify nuanced events and point fingers. Sitting there questioning the actions of those involved, not realizing that we are not having the same conversations. For us, it's a question of morals and ethics, but to them, it's a matter of life or death. Streamers don't usually have first-hand knowledge, nor are they experts, they're just loud. And we let them fill the void because we're desperate for someone to make sense of the mess. And while we're stuck in this cycle, the people these influencers and journalists claim to speak for end up right back where they started. Most posts about a crisis are just content, not change. These people will hashtag their way through it, but where's the action? They're not out there fixing systemic issues, they're just milking the story for views. This isn't new. Back in the 1800s, charity balls raised money for the poor, but most of it stayed with the organizers. During wars, propaganda peddled patriotism while soldiers died. Today's influencers and journalists are just the remix, using suffering as a backdrop for their brand. They'll post about refugees or poverty, but it's all optics. The oppressed aren't people to them, they're props. Can we stop this? We're not helpless. The algorithm follows our clicks. If we stop feeding the drama, it dries up. Here's how we start. Lift up the real ones. Share creators who build solutions, organizers, educators, because a lot of influencers and journalists lean into our worst impulses, and we keep clicking because we lie to ourselves about what we're really after. MLK showed what real impact looks like. No hashtags, just heart. These folks, they're just loud, banking on our addiction to stay rich. Am I off? Is there more good out there than I'm giving credit? Of course. But doesn't this feel like we're being led by the blind? Don't we deserve better than this? Because if we don't figure it out, these clowns are going to keep running the show and we're just buying the tickets. If you made it to the end, I thank you for your time. If you can drop your thoughts in the comments, like, and subscribe. Enjoy your day.